Hi everyone, and welcome to Coffee with My Sunshine, and thanks so much for coming back for another Using Trash to Create Treasure challenge. And if you're new here to my channel and to this challenge, I do a ton of DIYs, and each month I have a challenge called Using Trash to Create Treasure, where basically I ask people to take trash or something that they would recycle and turn it into something useful or a piece of home decor. Basically anything that will give it a second life and keep it out of the landfill. And each month I ask a different co-host to join me. And this month I asked Katie from the channel Handymom, and she does amazing work. She does some really fun decor pieces and beautiful woodworking. She also teaches you how to use certain power tools, and she's full of knowledge and creativity. So when you're done watching my channel, head on over to hers. Check her out, show her some love, and tell her I sent you. And after you're done with our channels, be sure to click on the playlist and watch what everybody else created. It really is a playlist where you can get tons of inspiration and ideas, so be sure to check it out. So let's get into it. So for my project, I decided to use a few different things, and it was scrap pieces of wood, old condiment jar, junk mail, scrap fabric, and turned it into some holiday and seasonal decor. So if you'd like to see how I did this, please keep watching. So I thought I would start with junk mail because I'm pretty sure we all have way too much of this. And I'm going to be making those cone trees that you see. I've been seeing a lot at like Hobby Lobby and Kirkland's and stuff. So basically you're just going to roll it up into a cone tree shape, just like I did here. And you can make them as thin and narrow as you want, or you can give them a wide bottom. And you can do endless things to these. You can add glitter, you can wrap them with twine or rope, you can cover them in fabric or some of these pieces of garland. There's so many things that you can do with them. I'm going to be making a few of them, and I'm going to show you a couple that I made a few years ago that are holding up awesome. And after you wrap them, you can go ahead and either use tape or hot glue. I used hot glue this time. This is one that I did a few years ago. I just used paper and some foil because I wanted underneath the beads to be kind of shimmery and have like a glam look to it. And then this one I just used that tinsely garland stuff and just regular paper underneath and glued it. So for the ones I'm going to show you today, this one I'm going to use fabric. And I just hot glued it on the end and then used some Mod Podge just to secure the fabric all the way around. And you can add on a star if you want, or make the top pointier. It doesn't matter. Like I said, you can make them as fat or as short or thin or tall. You just want to make sure the bottom is cut flat. For this one, I'm just painting with some white paint because I didn't want any of the pictures to show through. And then I'm just using some of this red tinsely garland stuff and just wrapping it around. It's super simple. I just use hot glue to secure it and, on the edges. And I think these are super fun because you can do so many things with them and make them look totally different for, depending on what your style of decor is. And if you make them just like this one, I'm using twine, you can leave them up through winter. It doesn't have to be taken down for Christmas. And same here, I just wrapped it around like I did the tinsel with some hot glue. And I think they're super cute. I like them. For this next one, I'm just taking this scrap fabric and this scrap piece of wood that we couldn't really use for anything because it has a hole in it. And this Merry Christmas stencil that I got from Walmart. I think it was only $1 or $2, maybe even like 97 cents, I'm not sure. And I cut the fabric to size to fit the scrap piece of wood, and then I wanted the wood to show on the edges, so I cut it a little short. And this was my first attempt. I decided I didn't like those dark colors. It was pretty, but not for Christmas. It looked more like a race car plaid. So for the buffalo plaid technique, you're just going to want to put a piece of tape along the top and then place another piece of tape underneath that, and that's just going to be your placeholder. And don't stick it down, you just stick down the next one, and then you use the placeholder again, and then stick down the next piece. You kind of get it just by watching. So then I mixed up some darker red and filled it in between the tape. And then you remove the tape, and this is my favorite part. I like to reveal the colors underneath. And then after that first coat is dry, you're going to do the same process, same technique, but going the opposite direction. And then the first piece of tape that you lay down is just going to be your placeholder, so you don't need to press it down. The next piece you do, make it nice and tight, and then, so on. Just do the placeholder and then push down the next piece and placeholder and push down the next piece. You get it. Basically what you're doing with the tape is making it so the paint won't bleed through. And then here I just mixed a little bit darker red than the first one, and you don't remove that tape. You just leave it after the paint has dried, and then you're going to do the same process that we did the first and second time with the placeholder tape and securing the tape down, and then you're just going to go over it with black. And I'm using one of those sponge brushes because I think those work the best so that you don't get bleed through. And I will I will link the channel in the description box where I learned this technique. She did an amazing job teaching how to do it. And this I think looks so cool when you remove the tape and show the red. It looks so pretty. I love how it turned out. I wish the black wasn't so shiny. I wish I could find like a black or a matte black. But I ended up going over it and sanding some of it just to give it a little bit of a more rustic, rough look. And then I'm just taking some Mod Podge to secure it to that scrap piece of wood. And then I was hoping that I could get some of the stray pieces of the fabric so I could pull it and make it so it's rougher on the edges, but of course when you want it to fray, it won't. So I tried sanding it a little bit and it wasn't really giving me the effect that I want, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. So then I'm taking my stencil and securing it on both sides after I found the center. And then I'm mixing some white chalk paint and antique white acrylic paint. And then I'm taking that same sponge brush so that it doesn't bleed through and just going over the Merry Christmas and the holly leaves. And because I thought it needed a little bit more, I just added some twine around the edges and wrapped around, I think like 5 times, and secured it with hot glue on the back. For my next project, I am taking those long scrap pieces of wood that you saw in the beginning, and I cut them down. And I got the inspiration for this piece from a decor piece I saw at Walmart. And you can do the wood blocks any size you want, it doesn't really matter. I got these stencils from Walmart as well, and that's how I figured out what size blocks I wanted. I just kind of measured out the stencils. And I wanted them to be, I didn't want it to be even. I wanted the blocks to be different sizes. And then to hold them together, I just used a paint stir stick and hot glued them on. And you can use a bottom piece like I have there, so that it's kind of like a stand for them, but it'll stand all on its own just like this. And I'm really happy with how that one turned out. I think it's really cute. And that's another one you don't have to take down because Christmas is over or anything. This next one is also a winter type DIY. And I'm just using some actual branches from outside and an old condiment jar. And I'm blotting on some white chalk paint. And then after that has dried, I just added some glitter using some clear Elmer's glue. I find that holds it on better than the Mod Podge. And then I just sprinkled on the glitter and then pressed it in with my fingers just to make sure it would stay, and then let it dry. And I think it's so pretty. I think it would even be pretty if you added water to the inside for the branch and then added some glitter to the water. I think that would be really pretty, like when the sun came through it. And then I just took this ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree to wrap around the top just so it doesn't look so much like a condiment jar. And at first I put a little, just like a little greenery bunch on the top just to make it decorative, but I think it was too much when I added the branches in. So I ended up changing that out. You'll see that shortly. And for the branch, I just pulled off some of the ones with the needles on there and then tied them together. And I ended up adding these jingle bells that I got from the dollar store that I made kind of rusty looking. I can link that video above if you'd like to see that. I think that looks better than the greenery that was on there. And this is everything all finished. I hope you enjoyed my video and the Using Trash to Create Treasure Challenge. Like I said, head on over to Katie's channel after you're done here and check out the playlist for all the inspiration you'll need to turn trash into treasure. Thanks so much for all of your love and support. I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget to stop in the comments if you're new here or if you're a returning friend. I would love to say hi. Don't forget to check out my new cleaning channel. I will have that linked in the description box. Also, my Christmas Decorate With Me videos are out. I have one more to do and then my full house tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.